Karaga, and KTU Radio Kufridua. Our global audience can download the My Joy Online app from the Play Store and App Store to listen live. Coming up, I will support whoever the party selects as flag bearer. I have no favorites. President Akufo-Addo, as he insists on a level playing field for all contenders.
I think that I have to keep away from that and make sure that there's a level playing field, and then we get somebody on no bar, my phone, a pen, or between a united party. No.
We'll hear from you, plus the spokesperson for the Vice President, and bring you updates as the President begins his tour of the Eastern region today. Also, vote rigging, candidate rejection, and a plea for presidential intervention. Ghana's MMDC elections underway across the country amid controversy.
And I am not going to support that. I'm in touch with my lawyers, and we are going to take a decision against all this incident.
We'll also bring you an update from the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, where the president's nominee, Sampain, has faced a tough challenge. We're learning he has been confirmed. Also, scores of girls living in communities along River Ofin stay home today because it is Tuesday, period.
It is not fair. It is not fair because every day the boys go to school and studies, but we the girls, we can't study all the days.
In sports,
Vice Chairman of the Juvenile Committee of the GFA concedes that it is incapable of catering to the ever-increasing number of Colts clubs. Details on our journey in about 20-ish minutes.
And later in showbiz, threats, insults, and nearly getting stabbed for simply dropping a controversial song that got many dancing and singing along.
Things that people are writing about what
I bet you remember the Tuobodom song. We'll hear from a member of the group in Kasai. Thanks for choosing us as always. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. I'm Arbor Kumson. President Akufo-Addo says he is committed to supporting whomever the governing New Patriotic Party selects as flag bearer for the 2024 elections. A number of key personalities in the party, including the Vice President, Dr. Baumia, Trades Minister Alan Tremantin, Agric Minister Dr. Use Friye, and former Energy Minister Boache Jako, have expressed interest in contesting. The President, who spoke on Kumasi-based Pure FM, said he has no favorites, in adding the MPP's quest to break the 8 is achievable.
Party. Because the decision has to be the decision of the party. Yeah. As a party, my thing is that whoever the party elects as its flag bearer for 2024, that person is one I will support. And God willing, I want to campaign for that person to become president. If he's a president, outgoing president, now all known say you're leaning towards X or Y. A bit to me the disturbance about party, because nobody don't know by exactly. Yeah, not everybody. President Peway, now Unibacoso and then also say then what happens there. I think that I have to keep away from that and make sure that there's a level playing field. And then we get somebody on no bar, a mouthful, a pen, or between a united party around our program and around his leadership. They're not at a beboy so that we can go the election of 2024 as a united force and take on our opponents.
But you're the firm belief that it is possible to break the 8?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. I think that the program and the work that this government is doing is sufficient foundation. Now, the canon MPP for also, to what extent we are going to be one, to what extent we are prepared for the popular mobilization, to what extent our organization is coherent. I think that we will have message. We will have a message for the country. Because at the end of the day, suddenly here, politics. What is the message you're taking to the country?
President Akufo-Addo speaking on Pure FM in the Ashanti region. Meanwhile, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says he's committed to ensuring the breaking of the 80th electoral cycle in spite of who becomes the flag bearer of the party. Dr. Bawumia argues that resourcing and strengthening the internal structures of the party will cushion the MPP and help it realize its aim of retaining power in 2024. Senior advisor to the Vice President, Fred Owari, speaking on behalf of the Vice President, observed that a total of over 700,000 Ghana cedis has been allocated to support party organization at all levels. He's been addressing delegates of the party in the Northeast region.
And assure the party leadership right from the national to the polling station that he is very well pleased with the way and manner this party has been managed for the past 4 years, and that he will continue to do everything within his means to support the party structures and events being organized to ensure that this party is strengthened and made ready for the 2020 break the 8th battle, no matter who becomes the flag bearer of this party. For that reason, he's asked me, Mr. Chairman, to make a donation of 20,000 cedis to the region and 2,000 cedis to every constituency. We do this with a firm belief that once the party is properly oiled, with good leadership, we will continue to be able to keep the peace we have within the party and give it strength for the next election.
Senior advisor to the Vice President, Fred Owari there. We stay on the MPP because its General Secretary, John Boadu, has confirmed to Joy News he intends to seek re-election when nominations open for the next internal elections due to take place next year.
It's the same thing that you are pushing me to preach here, but thankfully the Code of Conduct did not touch on internal elections. It only touched on the parliamentary and presidential elections. Yes, I'm going to contest the next year elections once more again as the General Secretary of the new Petroleum Party. Yes, I am.
MPP General Secretary John Boadu there. Well, President Akufo-Addo has this afternoon begun a tour of his home region, the Eastern region. He's expected to inspect some ongoing projects and interact with chiefs and people of the region. Maxwell Kudoko is my correspondent on the ground. He joins us on the line. Bring us up to speed on what's happening with the president's tour.
Well, the president is having a 3-day tour in the Eastern region. Started this morning with a radio interview in a local radio station at Nkoko, where he addressed the citizens or residents of the Eastern region. Basically, the president has been talking about some development projects that his government has been undertaking, including the PHHS, and then the strive that government has made in controlling COVID-19. He also touched briefly on the activities ECOWAS has been undertaking to ensure that there is peace in Guinea and Mali. He finished the interview briefly and then started the tour properly at the TBA Government Hospital, where the president inspected some redevelopment projects at the TBA Government Hospital. The hospital, over 73 years now, have not seen any development, and then the government is putting things in place to ensure that the hospital is developed. Presently, the redevelopment of the TBA Government Hospital has about 3 phases. The first phase has to do with the redevelopment of the maternity ward, the OPD, and the theater, which is ongoing now. After the inspection of the TBA Government Hospital, the president cut short for the reconstruction of the Empraeso Hifi into route, which is about 47-kilometer road, and then also the upgrading of the Bego Feyasi road, which is 20.1 kilometers. Now, the president is on his way to pay a courtesy call on the chief of Obo, and then from there, he will continue with the tour. Now, the Empraeso Shishi or Yimsu Road is one road in the core area that is in a very bad state. If you recall, in some time past, we had records of Fulani herdsmen or herdsmen who terrorized people within the area. So
Right. So that's Maxwell Kudoko. He's our Eastern Regional Correspondent with that update of the President's tour of the Eastern region. From the Eastern region, let's head to the Ashanti region. And Joy News is learning the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has approved some president's nominee for chief executive. Assembly members, as you know, earlier called on central government to commit to paying the debts of the assembly or risk having the nominee rejected. President Akufo-Addo had cause to address the matter during a radio interview when he toured the Ashanti region yesterday.
I don't understand your connection. I'm not the kind of buy. Yes, I'm not the kind of buy. The Mitchell says because it's so my mom, but he's going to be a victim of the past. I don't think that's fair.
Okay.
Now, maybe I'll be assembly for the number not between him. Says, I can't want some weekend. Butcher or local government minister can't want some.
President Akufo-Addo there. Let's take you live to the Prempeh Assembly Hall in the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, for the very latest. My colleague Nanayao Jima joins me on the line. Nanayao, so we understand that Sampain has been confirmed. Give us the details.
Exactly so. 58 assembly members were expected to be at the Prempeh Assembly Hall to cast their ballots. 55 of them voted in favor of the president nominee, representing 94.8% of the total ballot cast. Now, therefore, the president's nominee, Sampain, has been endorsed by the assembly members despite earlier agitation. Mr. Pine, who read an acceptance speech, thanked the president and also the assembly members for their endorsement and promised.
Unfortunately, we lost Nanayao Jima on the line now, but let's turn our attention on Asokore Mampong.
MC, yan nipa asawasi nipa dia, yentiasiye. Asawasi nipa we ba fan kura. Ye penu sa, anya sa dia, assemblymen no. Mo muntu mano.
We had wanted somebody who is a resident of this municipality. Who is
the reaction of some residents of Asokore Mampong as when Kennedy Kankam was nominated as municipal chief executive. He has today received the blessing of assembly members, obtaining 100% approval votes. Prince Appiah joins us with details. He's been monitoring that process. Prince, Mr. Kankam must be excited. What has he been saying?
Yes, Mr. Kankam was very excited. Two things he mentioned. He called for unity in the municipality and again mentioned that nobody should go out there to celebrate or jubilate in his name after he was affirmed as the MC today. 22 out of the 22 that voted today, all of them voted yes for him, and he was excited about that.
The person rebranded as Asokore Mampong with the Kumasi Airport. Airport, no, Obianim said the airport belongs to Asokore Mampong Municipal. Echidebia niu na mesremo. Yet the airport, no, any pencil factory, no, Baba be showcase Asokore Mampong. Extend the Akotia Diamonds, showcase Asoketiano.
Newly confirmed MC for Asokore Mampong, Kennedy Kankam there. From the Ashanti region, let's head to the Upper West regional capital of Wa, where the assembly member for the Degu government residential area is demanding the arrest and prosecution of persons who slapped him during an assembly meeting to approve the MCE nominee. Two others were also arrested during the violence that erupted over a spoiled ballot, which was later accepted, tilting the votes in favor of the nominee. Rafiq Salam is our correspondent there. He joins us on the line. Rafiq, first of all, what is the latest on those who were arrested last week? Hello, Rafiq. Rafiq, if you can hear me, what's the latest on those who were arrested last week in connection with this violence in Wa? I'm not sure Rafiq can hear us, but the story is that the assemblyman who was slapped in the Degu government residential area is now demanding the arrest and prosecution of persons who slapped him during the assembly meeting to approve the MCE nominee. Let's try and see if Rafiq is back on the line. Hello, Rafiq. If you can hear me, what's the latest on those who were arrested last week?
The latest is that I have checked with the police and they told me that yes, though they made an arrest, but there was no formal complaint that was made by anybody. And so for them, they can't keep those two personalities behind bars for that long. And so at the moment, the assemblyman who was alleged to have also been assaulted has also not made any formal complaint to the police. So the police said that they only arrested them as a crowd control measure.
But you've been speaking to this assemblyman who was a victim of the violence. What more has he been saying?
He's not happy with the way things went. He's saying that he is thinking that it was a family affair and that could have been resolved amicable. But the way things went, he's not happy, and he is saying that he's going to go to the law court to pursue for justice.
The chairman of the new patriotic party that the guy should be released, and the constituency chairman personally went to the police cells and ordered the release of that guy. And I always ask myself, if we have to live in this country this way, how are we going to get things done the right way? Because people have always wanted to support the wrong thing, and I am not going to support that. I'm in touch with my lawyers, and we are going to take a decision against all this incident.
From the Upper West region, let's head to the Bono East region, specifically the Nkranza South municipality, where Diana Atakusiwa, who was nominated as MCE, failed to get the required votes from assembly members. She's the only female nominee in the 11 assemblies of the region. Anas Sabit, who's a reporter on the ground, joins us with more. Anas, so how many votes did she get, and what have the assembly members been saying influenced their decision to reject the nominee?
But there were 42 assembly members in the Nkranza South municipality. Out of the 42, Diana Atakusua, who was the MC, she's re-nominated by the president, and the only female MC, pulled 20 out of the 42. That is some 47.62% of the total vote cast. And for the assembly members, they believe she's not done enough in terms of bringing development to the area, and hence they are calling on the president to re-nominate a different candidate to occupy the position. Currently, I'm in the Atilwa Mountain municipality, where the ninth nominee is going to be confirmed. But what is happening right now is that the media have been prevented by some party stalwarts and the police from entering the assembly hall for no obvious reasons. So we are waiting to see the outcome of what is being done in the assembly hall, so we get our listeners informed.
Many thanks. Anas Sabit is our Bono East regional correspondent. Back here in Accra, some assembly members in the La Nkwantanang Medina Municipal Assembly are demanding fresh elections, saying the polls that saw the approval of the MCE nominee, Jennifer Afagbeji, was rigged. They've been addressing a news conference alleging 10 of them voted against her, yet she crossed the required 2/3 threshold, which they say is impossible. The presiding member for the assembly, Ibrahim Sumaila Blay, however, insists the process was transparent. Two other stories, and today is Tuesday, a normal day in many parts of the world, but in the central and Ashanti regions where the Ofin River passes, women and girls are not allowed to cross the river on these days. An age-old taboo bans them from crossing the river when they are menstruating. As my colleague Jojo Kobina found out, this old discriminatory tradition is hampering girl-child education and limiting social-economic activities of females.
River Ofin in both Central and Ashanti regions is very sacred. There is an unwritten rule in all communities along the river, and women should not cross it on Tuesdays. In the community of Dencha Chechere, this rule is enforced to the letter. Also, when women or girls are menstruating, they are forbidden from crossing. It is believed that the curse will befall the community when women break this taboo.
The river is having a god of man, so that thing is born on Tuesday. For this reason, it is the Tuesdays when the spirits revoke in the river, so it's taboo for a woman to attend to the riverside on Tuesdays.
My name is Dokas Ameha. I'm 14 years. I attend St. John's Basic School. I live in Bakapa village. I attend school at Chetre, where I have to cross a river before getting to school. When I'm menstruating, I am not allowed to cross the Ofin River. It is a taboo.
Women and girls are questioning the relevance of this taboo, what is affecting their education.
It is not fair. It is not fair because every day the boys go to school and studies, but we the girls, we can't study all the days.
A peep through the school register shows the full story. Many girls who live across the river are absent from school.
Boys do not menstruate, so they cross and go to school. They excel in the classroom.
According to the girls, the boys do better in school because of this archaic belief.
So if I have to menstruate for 5 days, it means I cannot come to school. We are missing out on our education.
To give girls the best education, some parents have rented rooms in Chichere so the girls would return to them on weekends and when they are not menstruating.
My daughter Dorcas now sleeps at Churchway. I rented a room there because of her education. I'm scared some boys in town will take advantage of her.
Jojo Kabina filed that report. Now, around the world today, teachers are being recognized for their contribution to educating the next generation. The theme of this year's celebration is Teacher at the Heart of Education Recovery. Let's go on the line and speak to Precious Semevo, who's monitoring the ceremony being held in Sunyai. Precious, bring us up to speed on what's happening.
Yeah, so about the Ghana Teacher Prize 2021, just came to an end where Ebenezer Kojo from the Winneba SHS in the Futu municipality in the central region was adjudged as the overall best teacher for 2021. Now, the teachers themselves are not particularly happy with the fact that the president, the vice president, the education minister, the director general of Ghana Education Service were all not present at this year's event. Now, according to Philippa Larson, who happens to be the NAT president, now she said that this is about the 5th consecutive time that the president failed to show up. It's a worry to them, and they are hoping that this trend will change. But speaking on behalf of the vice president was the tourism minister, Dr. Ibrahim Awar. Now, he said that the government is determined to recruit about 40,000 teaching and non-teaching staff this year to augment the teaching staff to ensure that effective teaching will go on. And also said that the free SHS became successful as at now because of the involvement of teachers.
Precious Semevo is our Bono regional correspondent with that update of that ceremony to mark World Teachers Day being held in Sunyani. You're listening to the Midday News here on Joy99.7 FM. Our top story, President Akufo-Addo insists on a level playing field for all MPP presidential aspirants as he vows to support whoever the party selects as flag bearer. Also, Ghana's MDCE elections underway across the country amid controversy, and it's been characterized by vote rigging, candidate rejection, and a plea for presidential intervention. After the break, we have sports, and later in showbiz, threats, insults, and nearly getting stabbed for simply dropping a controversial song that got many dancing and singing along.
Things that people are writing about what I...
This bulletin is live in the Volta region on Jubilee Radio Keta, Volta Premier and Kekali Radio in Ho, Lolonyo FM in Hohoi, Pando FM in Pando, Fafa Radio in Joje, Radio Hogba in Angloga, Klenam Radio Bato, Victory FM Aflao. In the Eastern region, we're on K Poly Radio in Kofrodia. In the Northern region, we're on Bishara Radio, Radio 123 and Radio Justice in Tamale. And in Savannah region, we're on Inkelege FM in Bole. In the Upper East region, we're live on A1 Radio and Dreams FM in Bogatanga and Radio Fumbese in Fumbese. In Upper West, we're live on Radio Sonmale in Wa, Radio Freed in Nandom, Radio Wa in Wa, and Bolu FM in Bolu. In the Bono East region, we're on Gaskia FM in Techiman. In Bono region, we're on Sky FM and Parrots FM in Sunyai. Central region, we're live on ATL FM in Cape Coast. And in the Western region, we're on Radio Max in Takrady.
You're welcome back to the Midday News here on Joy99.7 FM. I'm Arbor Kumsin, and in the studio is Gary L. Smith with sports.
Thank you, Arba. And it's widely agreed in Ghana that for sports to get glory at the highest level, the grassroots should be good, especially in football, where what they call Coles football or juvenile football has been the bedrock of the nation's talent for many, many years. However, there are problems. Over the past couple of days, we've been pursuing an agenda to look at the state of Coles football. The administrators of the district juvenile committees have been making complaints over the inadequate support they are receiving from the GFA. For example, over 50 juvenile and Division 1 clubs in Accra West District alone were given just 10 balls for the use for the entire season. And we've been speaking to...
Just 10 balls?
Just 10 balls
Wow.
for over 50 teams. And we've been getting reaction from the vice chairman of the juvenile committee of the GFA, Samuel Inimadu, who says that the increasing numbers of Colts clubs is making it simply too much work for the GFA.
This is sometimes when you want to talk about it, you will not. If you want to, if you look at only your situation, you will not be realistic, because you are looking at yourself alone and you are trying to say they should do A, B, C, D for me. Remember, the game has changed. Like I remember Ima was saying that the game. Those days, there were few clubs. The likes of Asamaji and Co. They were looking for the clubs to even play for. And you will be privileged to play for a team like Grace Cedars or Mighty Betrayal those things. And there are few in Mantrobi. You understand me? But now it's changed. Everybody is having a club. How are they expecting the FA to fund all their activities? You understand where I'm coming from? So it's not going to be like that.
It's a continuing conversation as we get ready for the Black Stars qualifier. We need to continue looking at the base as well. So it's an agenda we are pursuing at the Joy Sports team, and we'll bring updates on what comes up next.
All right. Many thanks, Gary L. Smith with sports. Time for our Drive Safe campaign.
Safe driving saves lives. Drive safe.
Now, the National Road Safety Authority says it will soon roll out and enforce mandatory refresher training programs for motorists as road crashes continue to claim more lives. This comes after 13 people died Monday when an Accra-Kumasi bound bus and a cargo truck were involved in a head-on collision at Konongo. The driver reportedly did a wrong overtaking in a curve on the highway. Listen to some of the survivors who've been sharing their harrowing experiences.
All I heard was a sudden crash on the car, and it was as if something was ripping the vehicle off. And the next thing I saw, we had fallen on our side of the vehicle. Apart from the God factor, the seatbelt saved me. I was wearing my seatbelt. Likewise, my colleague.
Still, the bus ran into us, but the driver did his best by throwing the bus into the bush.
Well, Head of Regulation, Inspection and Compliance at the Road Safety Authority, Kwame Echiahene, says the refresher program is one of the many ways to reduce the carnage.
I think we are taking mandatory, compulsory refresher education of commercial drivers serious. Together with our friends at the Driver and Vehicle License Authority, we are working together to ensure that hopefully by the end of the year, we will begin to enforce or implement that part of our existing regulations.
Kwame Echiahene is Head of Regulation, Inspection and Compliance at the National Road Safety Authority. So this is a very controversial song. I mean, it was very controversial in 2005, and it still enjoys, nationwide airplay. Mm-hmm. So I understand that one half of the group has been speaking about this song.
All right, so Nake, who was in studio with us yesterday on Hits FM on Daybreak Hits, says they were receiving a lot of threats. And recently he performed the song and he got messages, and he was just really shocked why people would insult him. One of the other things that when he went to Kumasi, he was nearly stabbed.
Wow.
Yeah, because people didn't really appreciate.
People are offended by the lyrics?
Yeah, how he described the town. Let's listen to him.
Things that people are writing about what I did today shocks me. Beyond music and what we do, we've got family. But the kind of threats we face in Kumasi, a guy nearly knifed us. That's the stupidity has to stop. And I'm not going to stop singing that song. I will sing it. But if you see the comments people are writing about just this, It's creative art.
About this Shabodom song.
Bro, Kwajini Wabusia, the royal family were willing to accept us to come there, but the messages we were getting was too much.
Bang, bang, bang. All right, thank you very much, Mapito, with Showbiz. And that's how we wrap up the news. Our top story, President Akufo-Addo insists on a level playing field for all MPP presidential aspirants as he commits to support whoever the party selects as flag bearer. There's more of those stories on myjoyonline.com. I'm Barbara Kumson. Thanks for your attention. We're leaving you with a living word with Dr. Mensa Otabil. He's speaking on the power of words. Have a good afternoon.
Hello, please, am I speaking to Miss Joanna Kuma?
Yes, please.
My name is Philip and I'm calling from MTN. Someone has just sent you money and we will need you to enter your PIN